Many years ago, in the bustling city of Port Harcourt, there lived a very wealthy man named Felix. Felix is a billionaire who is into real estate and have so many other businesses and investments. Felix was doing very well for himself and was comfortable financially. He has all the good things of life that you can think of: cars, mansion, money, lots of them for him to spend. But Felix was sad. He was lonely. One thing was lacking in his life, which was true love. Every lady he has dated or came across was attracted to him, not because they genuinely love him or for his personality, but because of his money and fame and power. Felix wanted more. He wanted someone who will love him for who he is, for his personality, not just for his name or because he can buy them expensive things. Felix was yearning for true love. Then he came up with an idea. He decided to relocate, to travel far away from Port Harcourt to a place where no one knows him and pretend to be poor and blind. He said, "If any lady can willingly help me in that situation, means she has a good heart and truly loves me." So Felix discussed his plans with his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Festus, who were well known in the city of Port Harcourt because of their influence as an importer and exporter, who bluntly refused. Mr. Felix said, "That's impossible. My only son, a blind beggar? No, no, that can't happen." Felix pleaded with his parents that he has already made up his mind to do it. Mr. and Mrs. Festus were very sad but reluctantly agreed. Few days later, Felix set out for his journey, leaving his mansion and wealth behind. He traveled to a faraway village, a place very far from Port Harcourt. Felix was very determined. There he dressed in tattered clothes, put on a black glass, holding a stick, pretending to be blind, begging close to the roadside where people are passing. Every day, Felix sat by the roadside with a plate on his hand. "Please help me." When he perceived anyone passing by, he did that for days without anyone showing concern or care towards him. But Felix was not discouraged. He was hopeful. So one day, when he was sitting begging, a young lady walked past. She stopped for a minute. She looked at Felix. She had compassion on him. She walked close to him. She said, "I'm Benita. How are you doing? Hope you are fine." Felix was surprised. It's been 5 days and no one has spoken to him. Felix was taken aback. He said, "I'm just trying to get by." Benita looked at him for a while. Then she dipped her hand into her purse and gave him a little token. She said softly, I don't have much. Please manage this little change. Felix said, thank you so much. This means a lot to me. Benita nodded as she walked away. That night, at Benita's small living room, she could not shake off the thoughts of Felix in her mind. She felt so much pity for him. She thought, how could a young, vibrant man be blind and helpless? She thought for a while before going to sleep. The next morning, when Benita was going to her shop, she stopped at where Felix was seated. She said, good morning, it's Benita, the lady from yesterday. Felix replied with a calm tone, morning. Benita says softly, where do you stay? And don't you have anyone to assist you? Felix replied, no, I don't have anyone to help me. And I have no place to stay. Benita said, that would have been a lot for you. I'm going to shop now. When I'm coming back, I will see what I can do. Felix nodded with a smile. At Benita's shop, she couldn't focus on her work. She was lost in thought. She thought about how Felix had been coping. So when Benita closed from the shop that day, as she was walking back home, she stopped at where Felix was seated. Then she said, I stay alone. Do you mind coming to stay with me? Felix replied, no, I don't want to inconvenience you or be a burden. Benita said softly, no, you can't be a burden to me. Before Felix could say another word, Benita bent down, lifted him up and led him to her small house. She showed him his room and asked him to be comfortable. Then she went and brought a plate of hot jollof rice for him. Felix was very grateful and thanked Benita profusely. As Felix ate the food, he asked, why do you stay alone? Benita hesitated for a while before replying, I have no one left in this world. It's just only me. I lost my parents since when I was 18. At that time, I was practicing how to sew. It's been 5 years now, and since then, I have been surviving with the little earnings from my tailoring business. Felix was amazed by her strength. He said, I'm so sorry. That would have been really hard for you. Benita replied, yes, but God has been my strength all the way. Please relax, make yourself comfortable. It's a small place, please manage it. Felix thanked her immensely as she went to her room. That night, so many thoughts was on Felix's mind as he lay down on the small bed. Maybe, just maybe, he has found what he was looking for. Over the next week, Benita took very good care of Felix, helping him with his needs, like washing his clothes, helping him to the bathroom, and sometimes they went to her shop together. Felix was enjoying every bit of his experience. He enjoyed spending time with Benita, and some evenings Benita will take Felix on a stroll through the village, gisting and laughing. Benita was very smart and lively. This made Felix to be drawn to her. One evening, Felix and Benita were sitting outside the compound discussing when Benita asked Felix, "Can you please tell me more about yourself? Like your family and what happened to you? Were you born blind?" Felix was taken aback by her questions, but he quickly composed himself. He said, "I was not born blind. It was an accident. And for my parents, I don't know. I'm all alone in this world." Benita felt really sorry for him. She said, "Sorry for all that you have gone through." Back in Port Harcourt, Mr. and Mrs. Festus were very worried for their son. It's been a month and they haven't heard from their son. Mr. Festus consoled his wife, who was crying. He said, "Dear, nothing will happen to our son. Stop crying. Our son will return in good health." One cool evening, as Benita and Felix was sitting outside the compound, a young lady walked towards them. It was Rose. Rose was Benita's best friend. Rose said, "Benita, can I speak to you?" Benita said, "Rose, hope no problem." Rose replied, "Oh, Benita, come." Rose said, dragging Benita by the hand. When the two friends went aside, Rose said, "Benita, what are you doing with this poor blind man? The news is all over the village. Benita and the blind man. Please, Benita, chase this blind man back to where you pick him from. There are so many young, handsome men that want to get married to you. But what did you do? You chased them away. And you are here gallivanting with this poor blind man. He's not even rich." "Benita, a word is enough for the wise," Rose said angrily. Benita replied, "Rose, calm down now. Don't talk about him like that. He's really a calm and kind person. He has a loving spirit. I think I like him." Benita said, smiling, "If you come close to him, you will like him." Rose said, "Come close to a poor blind man? For what now? Please, oh, I have no business with blind people. My dear, I'm going. See you later," Rose said and left. Felix, who was seated there, was eardropping on their conversation. When Benita came, Felix asked, "Hope there is no problem." Benita replied, No problem." As they continued discussing, Benita said to Felix softly, "Please, I want to ask, have you visited the doctor to know anything that can be done concerning your sight?" Felix breathed hard. Benita dear, I have. Immediately I had the accident, they told me I have to undergo surgery before I can see again. But the money they said was too much. I couldn't afford it. Benita asked, "How much was it?" Felix smiled gently. Benita, why do you care for me so much? Benita said, it's good to be good to people. Felix said, okay. What again? Benita smiled. Because you have no one to look after you. That is why I care so much about you. Felix moved closer to her. He said softly, do you love me? Benita looked at him without saying a word. Few days later, Felix told Benita that he wants to go and visit his longtime friend who stays in Port Harcourt. Benita asked in surprise, how will you locate him? Felix said, don't worry about me. I will ask people about him, and when I get to Port Harcourt, I will call him. I just want you to take me to the park and help me board a bus. Benita was reluctant about it, but Felix promised her that he will come back for her. After some days, Benita agreed and she took Felix to the motor park and he boarded a bus to Port Harcourt. When Benita got home, she was very sad. She missed Felix so much. She had gotten used to him and wished he never left. When Felix got to Port Harcourt, his mother was the first to see him. She was very excited. She hugged him tightly. Felix asked, Mommy, where is Daddy? Mrs. Festus replied, he stepped out for a meeting. He will soon be back. That evening, when Felix sat down with his parents at the sitting room, his father said, welcome back home, son. We miss you so much, and your mother was very worried about you. But I'm glad you are back home. How was your journey? Hope you found what you were looking for. Give us the gist, Mr. Festus said, smiling widely. Felix said, Dad, it was not easy out there. I saw a different side of life. Some people were cruel to me, but some were kind. But I met a very beautiful and kind-hearted lady who took me in and took good care of me, like wash my clothes, cook for me, help me to the bathroom, and lots more. She is a kind soul. Miss Festus said, are such ladies still in this world that we help without expecting anything in return? I need to see that lady. She must be a loving soul. Felix said, Mama. She was even trying to ask how we can go for the surgery for my eyes, so I can see again. That was when I told her I want to come and visit my friend here in Port Harcourt. Mr. Festus said she must be very good and kind-hearted. Felix replied, yes, so, and she did not have much. She is an orphan and just a tailor, but always happy. Dad, I will love her and I will love to marry her. Mr. Festus said, no problem, son, if she is your choice. For a lady to help a blind man she don't know from anywhere means she has a good heart. Bring her over. Let us see her. Felix thanked his father and mother for their support. Few weeks later, Felix traveled to the village to meet Benita with a convoy of luxury cars. As he passed through the village path, people stood staring at the beautiful cars because the villagers have not seen such luxury cars in their village before. So some of the villagers followed the convoy, including Rose, Benita's friend, till the convoy got to the front of Benita's small home. When Felix came down from the car, everyone was shocked to see him. They started whispering to one another, "Is he not the blind man that has been with Benita? Why is he looking so good? And he is not blind." Rose was shocked to her bone marrow. She was speechless. Benita was so shocked. She was upset that Felix lied and deceived her about his true identity. Felix walked to her and pleaded for her forgiveness. He explained his reason for doing what he did, and Benita understood him. They hugged each other. Everyone standing there looking at them, including Rose, were shocked about the revelation. Rose tried to be nice to Felix on seeing that he was now wealthy. He ignored her. Felix and Benita entered one of the luxury car and drove off. Felix took Benita to the salon and a boutique to get a makeover for her hair and clothes. When they were done, Benita was looking ravishingly beautiful. Then Felix took Benita to his parents. Mr. and Mrs. Festus was very happy and they welcomed Benita warmly. In a month's time, Felix and Benita had the best and luxury wedding of the year. Their wedding was the talk of the town for months. It was the feast of the year, and they lived happily and joyfully ever after. The moral lesson of this story is that we should be good and kind, despite how cruel the world may be. Always show kindness, cause you never know which of your random acts of kindness will unlock the door of favor for you. Hi, beautiful people of African Folktales by Ify Best. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please let me know in the comment section what you learned from this story. And let me know where you are watching the story from. Give the story a thumbs up, like and share the story to your loved ones. Until I bring another story your way. God bless you. Bye.